Hi, this is Rick Surowicz. I'm here in my studio. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Rick Surowicz Watercolor. At any time during this video, you can click the link at the lower right hand corner and subscribe to my channel. If you do enjoy the video, be sure to hit the like button. If you want to learn more about my YouTube videos or my self-paced courses or my live online classes, you can click on the links that appear at the end of the video. This video is one in a series of rural farm scenes that I'm doing. I don't live in a rural area, but I'm not far from many rural areas that surround me in Northeast Ohio. It's a subject I enjoy painting, and I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, I'm ready to start, and I've got my drawing here. You can see my reference of this barn. It's got just some big shapes here, and I've done a value study here that I'm going to use as the basis for my painting. And this is going to be a fairly simple, quick painting, working 8x10. I've lightened this side up here, have this large light shape and kind of a vignette, but I'm going to use that as a guide as I do this painting. So I'm going to start with just a big sky wash here. I'm going to start with a big brush, and I'm going to use a little cerulean blue, and then I want to touch in a little bit of raw sienna. You have to be careful which test your mixtures, because there's a lot of variance in the cerulean. Some are greener and turn pretty green when you add the raw sienna. But I'm going to take this, I'm going to lighten this up a little bit. So I've got a big wash that I'm going to put down. And I'm gonna paint over the trees. I'm light enough. I'm not too worried about losing my brights. And I'm gonna use kind of some water here just to thin that out a little bit. And let's see. That ought to work for that. So now I'm going to take a smaller brush, and I've lightened this up here. I'm going to get a little bit of, let's see, a little rose madder. I'm going to add some ultramarine blue to that. I'm going to mix in some of my raw sienna. Gives me just a bit of a barn red. Not too bright, just a little bit. Put a little color in there. I'm going to bring this down. Add a little bit more of this warmth in that. So it is soft. So there's some softness in that. I'm going to come over here with a little bit of a finer point. I've got a 6 round brush. Just got a small shape that I'm going to paint here for this barn. And I'm going to soften that. All right, so that's enough right there that I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to dry this, and then I'll continue on. I might actually add just a spark more of some color in that. Yeah, that's probably good. The appearance of a few boards or something in that, and not too much more. So let me go ahead and I'm going to dry this. All right, so I've dried that, And I've cleaned my palette off. I'm going to mix some greens on my palette. I have an 8 round brush at the moment. We'll see if I stay with that. This is permanent green number 1, just a yellow green. Doesn't really matter, you know, what exact color you use. In the end, you just need to get to a yellow green if that's what you're after. There's a lot of ways to get there with blues and yellows or tube colors that are pre-mixed. So that gives me a little bit of that. Now I'll take some sap green, which is a color I like to work with. I can move it around, make it cool or warmer or whatever I choose to do. Add a little pyrrole red to that. It's probably a little too much. Add some more green to bring that back. That's not too bad. So I've got an array of greens. And I'm going to start with the brighter color. And I'm going to just start laying some color down. And I use all parts of the brush. This is a round brush, but I'm using the belly of it. Get a little bit of that raw sienna in there. There we are. So I just push that brush around a little bit, leaving some breaks where the sky can peek through. If I want a little more texture, I'll take some of the moisture out of my brush. Let's see, maybe I'll take that all the way up. A little rougher texture. I'm going to come in with some darker values. When I'm going back in the areas that I've already put a wash down just to get a gradation of a darker value, I just touch it with my brush and let the paint flow. I'm not just brushing it over and over and over. It'll start to turn to mud. So I'm keeping that, fairly fresh. And my trees there. And, this is there's bushes and trees and weeds and all kinds of things there. So I'm just treating it as a large shape. I'm gonna bring this down a little bit. Take a little darker value and touch in there. I'm gonna put those tree trunks in. Alright, and I think I want to get a little darker, so I'm going to take a little royal blue, add to this mixture. I'm going to add some alizarin crimson to gray that down just a little bit. And I'm going to come in here with a darker mixture. And I think that works for me. I'm going to be doing some darker shapes for those tree trunks. And now I'm going to come over here and let's see, I'm using the same brush, and I'm going to keep this pretty simple. So I'm going to leave a little break between the trees and make one a little lower, keep it a little more interesting. I want to start to make this a little cooler. I want to keep a nice shape on that rooftop, that light shape. Not as much, you know, a broken edge, keeping a little more like a large shape. Let's see. I guess I'll go a little darker there. Bring this down here. There's a bit of an edge of a field or something. And then I'm going to drop this little, this is a quinacridone gold. I'm going to drop a little of that here because there's a tree that's closer, a small tree. So I'm going to just put that right there, that suggestion of that. I might actually lift out a little bit to lighten that up. And go darker over here. That'll probably work for me. So now I'm going to take, continue with some of this, and you know, we've got some bushes or something over here, some kind of a tree with a lot of foliage and very low. My fence post, but I'm planning on doing more of a vignette thing here around those shapes. A little gold. Drop just a touch of a darker value into that gold. A little stronger shape. Okay, I'm gonna take some of this kind of a gold green here. Alright, so I'm going to dry that once again. Okay, so I've dried it, and I'm going to take, let's see, I'm going to take a little burnt orange. Take a little royal blue. And let's see, and I'll get a little, maybe a little raw sienna here. So I'm going to take a rigger brush. And I'm going to go ahead and start putting in my tree trunk. Now remember, as you put in your tree trunk, parts of it show, parts of it don't. And you know, that's pretty dark. I'm going to lighten that just by touching it a little bit. A little more of my blue. That tree in there, or the tree trunks, and I've got like some trunks here in the distance. I don't want them to be spaced the same or look the same. Let's vary those a little bit, and I'm going to go with just a little bit of a finer rigger brush here. You know, I'm working with both warm and cool as I paint this. A few branches hanging down here. Got a tree there. Maybe there's just a little bit of branches. This is far away, so you're not going to see a lot of detail. And let's see, maybe we'll put a little something in here. Okay, now let's see if I can get kind of a reddish tone. Dark, a little royal blue, some of my alizarin or something there. I'm gonna paint in this. Get a little smaller brush. I'm gonna get my number 4 round brush. And we have a couple windows down here. Like that mark I just made, I'm gonna try and lift that out a little bit. And then I'm gonna take this same color. Put a bit of a mark under here. Put a little bit of a shadow under here. Maybe I'll show this edge a little bit. Come in here with touch darker value. Darker here. Alright, so that's all dry. And I'm going to take my 8 round brush And I'm going to put in some darker values. Just a little bit of some darker values here. A little bit of texture. I'll carry that on over here. We'll have to soften these edges some. And now I'm going to take just a little, maybe touch brighter color. To add a little bit of color to the front of this. And now I want kind of a cooler tone, so a little bit of cobalt blue. Grade down a little bit. I'm going to put this in kind of with the angle of the rooftop. And I'm going to go a little warmer over here with some cool. We got a little tree trunk here. And I'm going to take a touch of that warmth and add it over here. Alright, let me give this a dry again. Okay, so I'm going to do, just want to touch brighter color here. Just a little bit of a glaze. And then I'm going to do one of the things I like to do when I paint is I like to splatter a little texture. And it's good if you cover your sky sometimes. I like the textures, I like the patterns, so a little bit of this green in here, and maybe I'll take a little burnt orange, put a little of that in there. And maybe even make a few marks. My fence post, kind of just very subtle, and I can go just a little darker with that. add a little bit of wire to this. We'll put another fence post here. So there's my fence post. Very thin wire, we'll go out of it. Alright, let me give that a dry. Alright, so I'm just going to get a little darker mixture. Maybe some alizarin, some of my royal blue. Maybe some burnt orange. And we go a little darker. Just a few touches of some, like that mark, it lines up with my post too much. Alright, so once again I'm going to dry this. Okay, I'm not sure I'm going to stop. There we have an interpretation of this, a very, kind of vignetted composition, a little loose, some simple shapes and textures and different patterns and a range of values. So I hope you enjoyed this.